To begin with, don't forget that if you have some ideas of your own for future WGTU videos, either a topic or a game that you'd like me to discuss, you can leave a comment on YouTube, contact me on Twitter, or send me an email. It's always great to exchange with the community, and I think it's really cool that we can build this series together, so feel free to share your thoughts. Okay, so last time I talked about Diablo, and I discussed how randomness is at the core of some video game mechanics and how it can tap some cognitive biases to increase games' replay value. In particular, we saw that drop rates and loot systems can hook us in and keep the players playing. But there's another type of randomness that I find really interesting when it's mastered well, and that's the concept of procedural generation. Roughly put, procedural generation is about automating some of your data design to make it faster or more diverse thanks to the computing power that we now have. Basically, when you develop games, you usually have two ways of designing your levels, creatures, etc. You either do everything by hand and apply your game designer skills to the specific context, or you write up a machine, a set of rules, that can be fed some initial start values and then automatically create a valid level or monster for you. This automated approach is what we call procedural generation. The idea is to rely on various algorithms or static data and combine them into a chain of building stages. For example, you can generate the 3D landscape, the assets in a scene, the NPCs, the quests, or even some animations. Those building stages can be more or less deterministic. Transitioning from step 1 to step 2 can either go always the same, which is fully deterministic, be completely random, which is fully stochastic, or have some in-between logic. Deterministic engines are nice because you can anticipate the result, but stochastic engines are very interesting from the point of view of players, because they can create some surprises, and sometimes you even get such unexpected results that no human could have actually thought of it. To me, a recent amazing example of the power of procedural generation for content creation, game replay value, and more importantly, immersion, is Shadow of Mordor. So, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor is a 2014 action-adventure video game developed by Monolith Productions that offers an original story in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien. In these in-between episodes that takes place after the Hobbit trilogy and before the Lord of the Rings saga, you play Talion, who's a Gondorian ranger that wants to avenge his family with the help of an elf ghost, Celebrimbor. The quick and intuitive combat system is really cool, the open world is dense and well thought for parkour, a la Assassin's Creed, and the RPG components, like the experience points, give the players a real sense of progress as the hero grows stronger. So this game is full of great mechanics, and overall, the graphics, the voice acting and the various storylines slowly drag you into Tolkien's world and Talion's tragic fate. But one of the real highlights of this game, and a feature that was praised by critics, is the cleverly designed Nemesis system. As you progress through the story, you'll keep on encountering some special enemies, the Nemesis. Those captains and war chiefs aren't simple mobs like the rest of the Uruks. They are more embodied personas and actual characters that have unique visuals, traits, and even relationships to you. They are created randomly with each playthrough, thanks to procedural generation, and they have their own personality, multiple body types and parts, hairstyles, behaviors, voices, animations, and so on. They'll also have a soul fighting style, specific powers, strengths and weaknesses, which forces the player to deal with this Uruk in a particular way, and further backs up the enemy's uniqueness. Even better, the various traits of the Nemesis will determine how it reacts to you, whether it becomes a foe or a guardian for Talion, and how it progresses through the story alongside your hero. So you feel like this AI somehow remembers what happened before in a very human way, and it constantly develops a relationship with Talion, and therefore with you. That's actually the great thing with this Nemesis system. It creates additional stories that are your own as a player. Everyone shares the main questline, but these narratives that you'll live with a Nemesis, well, they're unique. The character is generated randomly to begin with, so another instance of the game won't have the exact same one, and then it will also evolve as you battle and play with it, and as it finishes missions. This is an incredibly powerful way of bringing this specific character to life and building on the artificially generated content. In fact, because our brains just love to fill in the blanks, we'll sometimes do our best to bring together these random pieces into a coherent whole and simply enjoy the remaining incongruities. And once the randomness of the initial generation has passed, if the Nemesis survives its encounter with you, then it will gradually gain new traits, scars, fears or taunts, depending partially on what occurred the last time it fought you. So this is what makes the AI mechanic very believable and powerful. You eventually fall for it and start to think of these random but also unique enemies as actual opponents, almost as if they were other human players. Let's be honest, seeing an enemy you thought you killed previously come back and want revenge for you disfiguring him is just perfect for immersion. So, what if Shadow of Mordor, in addition to having you jump around and taunt all the Uruks in your way, was also a great example of the power of procedural generation in terms of immersion? And please tell me in the comments, isn't it just a thrill to fight in the arena and see your combo increase to the hundreds? I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and share it if you did, to subscribe to the channel and to turn on the notifications to not miss the next ones. Of course, if you have any other idea of games that tell us something without us noticing, please tell us in the comments. As always, thanks a lot for watching and stay tuned for the rest of this series.